people around you don't give a shit. So, I mean, it's just the Islanders is a sad state of affairs. You know, not only are they bad record-wise and hockey-wise, everything around them is bad. See, that's where the difference comes with how the Devils are. The Devils, for the last 15 some odd years, have been one of the best-run NHL organizations. They've had some of the best drafts. They have the best farm system. They've made a huge mistake this year with the whole Kovalchuk contract. They hamstrung themselves, unable to make moves. There's been big injuries, key injuries. Zach Parisi's been out. Martin Brodor's been out for like a month now with an elbow injury. So the Devils aren't playing well. But this is the first year since 1996 that the Devils haven't been good. That the Devils are and even in 96, the Devils just barely missed the playoffs. The Devils aren't going to just barely miss the playoffs this year. They're going to miss it by a whole fucking lot. They're going to be battling with the Islanders trying to stay out of the bottom of the Eastern Conference. But the Devils are a good organization. And as a Devils fan, I know that. I know that it's not hopeless in New Jersey. I'm upset about this season. I don't like it. But it's not a hopeless situation. If you're an Islanders fan, you're in a hopeless situation. You know, you look out there, and there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Your team is bad. It's not going to get any better. Your arena is horrible on a point of collapsing, and it's not going to get replaced or rebuilt or refurbished in any way, shape, or form. You know, you have an owner who's basically given up. Your team may be moving to Kansas City or to Hamilton, Canada, or to Winnipeg or Quebec City. I mean, there's a number of places where the Islanders can end up going. As an Islander fan, you almost have to. You got to throw up your hands and be like, I give up. It's miserable trying to be an Islander fan, and you saw that, as I mentioned in the last segment with Opie from the Opie and Anthony show. He's been a season ticket holder for the Islanders for a number of years. I think he grew up an Islanders fan. He grew up out on the island, and this is a guy who filmed himself taking his Islander season tickets and throwing them in the fucking river because it's just it's too much for even a lifelong loyal Islanders fan to take.
That's and it's not so much of who he is and what he does. I think anybody filming themselves ripping apart their season tickets would be a big, fuck you to the organization. But considering who it is, that's good. That increases it tenfold.
Yeah, that gives it much more notoriety than if any regular.
Yeah, it's a high profile. For the Islanders. You have to look at it this way. It's a high profile fan. It's somebody who, even though you've been bad, has been out there. He's on Twitter. He announces when he's going to Islander games. He's always like, let's go Islanders. Fuck the Flyers. Fuck the Rangers. Fuck the Devils. He's out there rooting for the team. He's doing all this stuff. He's giving you notoriety, basically giving you free publicity. And you've been able to do nothing with it. You've been able to not help him in any way in his fandom or any of the Islander fans. And you've gotten to the point now where you've taken this high-profile figure and one of your most loyal fans and basically had him say, fuck you, I quit. And that's with the point with the Islanders. The Islanders are having their fans quit.
And you know what? I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if ESPN.com, because that's the only place where you can get hockey news from ESPN, because God forbid they show anything on SportsCenter. Yeah. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if that video that he filmed is everywhere on the hockey boards. And
I believe that video actually showed up on Sports Nation, that show they show on ESPN2 or something. I believe it was actually showed on there, and it's actually on the Sports Nation website, I believe, as well. So that video has already made it to ESPN.
That's insane.
So there you go. And as an Islanders fan, and as being somebody in the Islanders front office, you have to be embarrassed with that. And if they're not, then that team just has no hope. And that's a shame. Because the Islanders were a great franchise. You don't win 4 Stanley Cups and not be a good, proud franchise. And this team has been beaten into submission. The Islanders are like a beaten dog. And for the last 20 years, they've been that way. and it's a shame to see that happen. You know, they had great players in, you know, Dennis Potvin, Mike Bossy, Clark Gillies, Billy Smith. You know, you think of those names, and then later on in the 80s and early 90s, they had Pat LaFontaine, you know, and all that, and they've done nothing with it, and they've slowly killed themselves, and they try to hold on to that tradition. They try to hold on to that 4 Stanley Cup tradition, but at some point, that grows old, and people get tired of it, and people don't want to hear it anymore, and people rip up their tickets and throw it away, and that's what's happened. We have video evidence of it.
You think that's you think the Islanders are just gonna like fold and be like non-existent anymore?
No, they won't fold. No team in this day and age will fold. You know, the unions won't let it happen because it means a loss of players' jobs and stuff like that. So that's not going to happen.
But a move
is most definitely happening. You have a whole arena in Kansas City, the Sprint Arena, that was built and has nobody in it, has no tenants. They were hoping to draw a hockey team or a basketball team, and they've so far been able to do neither.
Yeah, because all Kansas City has is the Chiefs.
They have the Chiefs and they have the Royals. That's all they have. And so they built the Sprint
they have
Arena.
the Chiefs.
Yeah, they have the Chiefs. So they built the Sprint Arena. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful arena, state of the art, nice. It's been there for about 3 years now with nobody in it. They hold some college basketball games and some NCAA tournament games and stuff like that. But other than that, that place ain't occupied. There's nothing in there. So they would scoop up the Islanders in a heartbeat.